I did the honors this time. I don't think I've had one of my almost forgot this, BB. The logo above your head. I haven't had one of my weirdo energy drinks in a couple weeks.
What do you drink for energy at the festival?
Red Bull. My body was made of caffeine for like 85% of Fantastic Fest.
God bless. I was just tired the whole time.
I drank very, very little water.
I do not drink coffee. I do not drink energy drinks. I just maintain.
Yeah. Most impressive that you can do that, because I most certainly cannot. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. We already got some super chats. Looks like Vincent's got us covered. Hey guys, rest in peace, Robert Redford. Favorite movies of his, and then I'm also going to bring up this second one here. For me, Paul Newman and Redford, the best duo ever.
I mean, man, favorite movie of one of the most prolific.
Yeah.
Like, but again, it's one of those, like, how do you not be generic with someone like Redford?
Well, there's many things that I want to be generic about, but also like it's not a film, but the thing that I have to highlight is just like my endless gratitude for the Sundance Film Festival. It's just that like that festival has been such a big part of my life for so many years, and it's so woven into what I love about this industry, how I want to see this industry and the artists in it grow for the better and get the spotlight they deserve. So that's the thing that's probably taking up the most brain space for me at this specific moment. But yeah,
I mean, I don't know, something like The Sting. Like, sorry, like it's easy. It's right there.
Apologize.
I know, but like that's the thing. Like, it's easy. It's right there. Like, but yeah, something like The Sting. My anecdote will be, of all the roundtables I've ever done in New York City. So when you're a journalist, and if you do a roundtable, that means you sit down with like 8 or 9 other journalists, literally at a round table, like a convention room in a hotel, and you get one talent. So like Robert Redford was our round table that day, and there were 8 other journalists and me, and we're in a restaurant. I don't know why, that was completely closed. And so we're all sitting at a table that like it's the only one with the chairs down. All the other chairs are up. Like it's completely shut down outside for that. And Redford comes in, and he personally introduced himself to every single person at the table before we began, said something, and like just made it personal. And then he said, we're not going to do a free-for-all. I want to hear from all of you. So we're going to go one by one, and you get to answer, like you go in order and ask your questions, because this way, no matter what, everyone at least gets one question. And so like he just came in and just commanded the room in a way that was so pleasant and like personal and just like connecting with you. And because they can be chaos, like if you're at a table where someone just dominates the conversation, stuff like that. So just like an absolute professional, but like also just a professional in the most like humane way.
Yeah, I love those. I love those kinds of memories. And I love the people that we encounter in those types of spaces that make sure everybody feels comfortable and heard, because it's sometimes quite challenging and scary. I will also give a very popular answer that somebody else has just brought up. All the President's Men is obviously one that I've watched many, many, many times. And then if you want some, I wish I had looked up or I had time at this very second to look up where these two are streaming right now, but some recent movies of his that I love, love, love. The Old Man and the Gun is phenomenal. And I also grew quite obsessed with All Is Lost, which I can't recommend.
Oh yeah.
Enough. Yeah. Both of those are quite good, and they have to be streaming somewhere right now.
Yo, Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon.
Love.
Pete's Dragon is pretty fucking good.
If we're talking recent, if we're talking things recently, and I will always be there to promote Pete's Dragon, whether that's for performances or anything.
I will take that. All right. So Our order of business today on the Merri Hour is to give you as full of a Fantastic Fest 2025 recap as we possibly can, which means we're about to review a significant amount of movies. So many movies. Should I make banners for them, or if I'm doing time codes, is that enough?
I mean, if you time code it for the video later, like everyone watching is
All
fine.
right.
But if
I'm
you want,
like, so someone out there is basically sitting there being like, finally, they're doing time codes. It felt necessary for this particular topic. So, with that being said, the time is 5:24 in our live stream, and we are going to begin with a review of Primate. Matt, do you want to do synopsis honors for this one? And we'll switch back and forth.
yeah, there's a chimpanzee that kills people.
There you go.
Like literally, this is the most boilerplate basic creature feature, and I say that not without love. Like Johannes Roberts, I really do adore his work. It's so funny because he came up to do the intro for Primate, and he's like, "I just want to apologize for my Resident Evil movie." Because he directed Raccoon City, and I wasn't in his theater. I was watching on simulcast. But if I was in the theater, I'd be like, don't apologize, dude. It's a good movie. So I love even that. But talking about like 47 meters down and like Strangers Pray at Night, I just really like fucking what Giannis does. So he brings a stylistic and just fucking punch you in the face approach to the idea that a intelligent chimp has contracted rabies and is just killing his owner's family. That's it. Like that's the whole movie. There's nothing else to it. That's it. And hell yeah.
That is generally the movie. Just to set the scene for everybody a little, it is about a character named Lucy who heads home to see her family, and she has a pool party with her friends, and the family has a pet chimp named Ben, and Ben is bit by, I believe it's a mongoose that has rabies, and then Ben goes very, very feral. And part of the reason why I did want to emphasize the story is because I thought that was one thing the movie did very, very well. Because when I first read the synopsis for Primate, I got a little worried that, you know, I'm sensitive when it comes to animal things. And Ben the chimp didn't ask to get bit. So I thought I was going to feel so bad for him throughout the movie that I wouldn't be able to enjoy the wild ride of, you know, a very grotesque, bloody horror movie. But I thought they did a really good job of not making me feel overwhelmingly sad, but also never letting me forget that Ben wasn't always like this. Ben had a family that really cared about him. And the fact that this movie was able to do both really, really impressed me, especially when I am so sensitive to those types of things.
Yeah, I would say that for my examination or whatever you want to call it, like I did call out my review that it does feel a little underserved in the character backstories and in Ben's. Like I was missing a good 10 minutes of like gentle Ben. And I needed more from the characters beforehand to be anything more than like corpse pawns, but everything else is so good that I didn't care in the end. Like to me it's a great Midnighter B movie because it just says fuck this, we're going all in on the kills, we're going all in on the intensity, and like it does. There are 2 or 3 kills in here that are gruesome with a capital G. Like it is, I'm talking like jaws ripped off and just maximum carnage. So that's what wins me over. Also, everything is basically like an homage to something else. So you have so much Jurassic Park in here. You have so much Halloween. This is literally like Halloween if the
Got a touch of Scream as well.
Yes, it 100% that. But like this is Halloween if the chimp was the shape. Like that. Literally, I can't explain how on the nose that is.
Just to go back to some of what you said, I differ on the backstory thing. I think I got just enough of, you know, Ben having family time for all of that to work for me. And I also thought I got just enough about the characters as well to care about them enough and make me invested enough in their lives, but also not necessarily bog the movie down with too much exposition and backstory, because this is a movie that absolutely flies. I think the pacing of this film is pretty impeccable. And I wound up getting quite attached to this group of friends friends too. I mean, some of them make some questionable decisions along the way that I'm hardcore still judging, but I just really enjoyed them as a group, and I thought some of the actors really stood out. The lead is Johnny Sequoia, and I believe this is her first lead role in a studio film. We brought this up during our interview. She had led a film when she was much younger, so this is a really big opportunity for her. I thought she was the perfect anchor for this kind of movie. It's just like she's got such natural screen presence and such an impeccable sense of fight to her that I would literally watch her in any horror movie as that type of character. So I thought she was phenomenal. Then there was also Victoria Wyan, who plays her closest friend in the movie. I thought she stood out really well. Same with Jessica Alexander. I thought she was phenomenal. It kind of has me teetering into kills that I wish I could reference with everybody in this ensemble, because there's quite a few that stand out a lot that I wish I could name drop. I wish I could name drop. As I'm like going through the cast list, I'm like, I want to give you a shout out for this reason, but I can't. What I'll tell you, very, very not spoilery, is that I liked all of the kills in this movie. I thought they were all really, really well done. And they're all quite, yes, I know what you just said. They're all quite memorable. There's two in particular. Now I think I'm coming short. I think there might be three. There's three in particular that I thought were like, my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I love, love, love it. One of those three, I would be shocked if it didn't because this movie doesn't come out officially until 2026, right? I would be shocked if at the end of the year, it still wasn't one of my favorite kill scenes of the whole damn year, if not recent years. It is so smart, so well done, such like a brilliant subversion on what we usually think of a certain type of character. And I was just overjoyed watching that extremely brutal death scene.
Yeah. Also, talking about performances, Miguel Torres Umba's mocap for the chimp, absolutely fucking phenomenal. Like, we're talking like Matt Reeves' Planet of the Apes good. Like, this chimp is really well acted, and also the practical that is there, also
so
phenomenal.
good.
So like, it looks great no matter what.
The way they created Ben is easily one of the absolute best parts of this movie. It's some of the best practical effects work, with, of course, if there's mocap digital work as well. But I thought they did that. I don't think it could have been better, basically.
No, it really couldn't have. And like, I am a big, like, for all my shark movies, let's put it this way, like, I am so hyper focused on what does your creature look like, because that's what you're selling us on. Primate is selling us on a murderous chimpanzee, and it looks flawless. Like, legitimately, this is like I think work.
Flawless is the perfect word. I really again, I don't think they could have gotten better, and I can't think of a single moment in this movie where I see those seams showing. It's like 85 minutes. It's dumb fun. The kills go for broke. What else do you need? Like, it's the perfect. It's not. I wouldn't even call it dumb fun.
Oh, I would absolutely classify this as dumb fun.
No, I mean, I think it's a wild, exhilarating midnight kind of watch. Like, that's the prime place to go see it with a packed house late at night kind of thing. But I definitely don't like, I wouldn't call it dumb fun. I think the script is actually like just as sharp as it needs to be. And these characters are just as full and real as they need to be. So I'm just going to call it a real good time at the theater. Do you want me to score it first? I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal movie scale. I absolutely loved this movie. This is something that I'm going to watch over and over just to have a real damn good time. And I think the craftsmanship and performances are through the roof. Loved it.
3.5.
I'll take it.
Not far off. 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. Next up on my list, Night Patrol at 13:41. All right. Let me bring up a synopsis for Night Patrol. Mainly because, I mean, I think we know the poster says it. The poster says it.
I tried to stay away from it in my review, saying it blatantly. I used like supernatural and stuff like that.
You know what the tagline of the poster is, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I think we at least have to go as far as the marketing.
Okay, I'm fine with it. Yeah.
All right.
Stay with the tagline.
I'm like giving it a beat to see if anybody in the comments section rejects that pitch, but
say the tagline, because the tagline is
the tagline on the poster. I think the poster is stunning, by the way.
It is. Cool.
The tagline of this poster is "Defang the police." So Thanks. We got vampires. The IMDb synopsis for Night Patrol reads, an LA cop discovers a local task force is hiding a secret that puts the residents of his childhood neighborhood in danger. Matt, how did you feel about Night Patrol?
Positive on it. It's a mixed positive. I won't lie about it. I think the film is, well, number one, I love Ryan Prowse from Low Life. Like, if you haven't seen Low Life, it's such a good kind of Tarantino-y, grindhousey midnighter that plays with interconnecting stories and lots of big ideas. But Night Patrol is a distillation of one story that is very meaningful. And the whole defang the police thing, like, this is legitimately about, like, as far as like ethnic cleansing and oppression in today's modern world and what that looks like, and absolutely taking shots at government systems and governing bodies like the LAPD and how corruption can exist and why it does. And using vampires is so in your face, but that's what makes this movie good. We are definitely in a time where subtlety means fucking nothing. Like, we have to say the quiet part out loud as possible now. But I think that also is the movie's struggle at times, because this movie restates its themes and what is the importance over and over again so much that it starts to get bogged down by that. Like, scenes felt like repetition to me, where characters are saying out loud why things are bad and like why they have to do what they're doing. It's almost like over explanation over and over again, because once again, they want the audience to understand why they should be mad and what they should be mad at. But when it gets towards the end of the movie and it feels redundant because we've said it so many times, it made a hour and 40-minute movie feel like 2 hours, and that really dragged me on there. But the actual carnage of it, the actual execution of the ideas, when it is a, you know, Black Plot Project community fighting against these supernatural LAPD Night Patrol officers, fucking great. The cast is awesome. I love Jermaine Fowler, Justin Long, like, just up and down. It's so good. RJ Seiler, like, it's really good as they start doing this like gang warfare against the police, and it hits, like, it sticks. What it's trying to tell you, it does get across. I just really felt the movie dragging at points though, and I could feel like there was just the recycling of the same scenes over and over again, and that was where I did. And oh yeah, CM Punk, absolutely. CM Punk is a big old piece of shit.
Yep.
Freddie Gibbs, fucking awesome as the Blood leader.
Yeah. I will somewhat respectfully disagree with, or I should say, I'm going to respectfully disagree with some of what you said, because I do think this movie makes its point over and over and over again. But personally, I found it really well woven into the main characters' narratives, where it didn't feel like I was being beaten over the head with any one thing too many times. It didn't slow the movie, and it didn't make scenes feel repetitive, mainly because all of that is so heavily connected to this supernatural lore that the movie is building and then further exploring. Like, the second they introduced all of that, I kind of found myself leaning in, and of course wanting to see how they explore these very real world themes that they're doing, but also wanting to learn more about the world building that's happening in the Night Patrol universe. So I thought those two things wove together very, very well. And largely because I think I guess I would say three main characters in Justin Long, Jermaine Fowler, and RJ Kyler were all really, really strong. RJ Kyler kind of felt like the main anchor for the movie for me. He's one of the few characters with, you know, like a toe or an interaction with every group within this world. And I thought he did a really good job bringing everybody together, making his character Wazzy feel like defined enough, but also malleable enough, if that makes much sense. So I really enjoyed seeing him grow throughout the movie. With Jermaine Fowler's character and Justin Long, for that matter, I'll tell you, their first scene, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna hate you guys. And the way that they brought me into their headspace and, you know, tried to, you know, maybe not get me to agree with every single step they took throughout the movie, but at least understand where they're coming from and what the fuck they're doing now and where they want to take things in the future. I was surprised how along for the ride I wound up being watching them reach their endpoints in the film. And also in particular with Justin Long, I have to emphasize, you have never seen Justin Long like this before. I am not going to go as far, of course, to reveal any spoilers, but there's a couple things that he's done some like batshit stuff over the years, but there's like there's I'm trying to watch my words here. There's certain things he's challenged to do in the back half of this movie that I'm like, dude, keep swinging for the fences in all different ways because your range is endless.
Yeah, I think the execution through genre storytelling of culture being the secret weapon against oppression and whitewashing and all that stuff, like, you know, the idea that the project like goes back and uses lots of like, you know, Zulu traditions and stuff like that, and they tap into their roots, and that is what they use to defend against the LAPD that is 100% whitewashed and, you know, literally calling themselves neo-Nazis verbatim, you know, within the ranks. So it's like it's on the nose because it has to be, and I think Prowse's execution and direction really favors that. Like, some directors can't work with in-your-face stuff. It feels fake and cheesy, and I think Prowse is the opposite. I think he's always in your face, and he's really good at making that feel genuine and organic, and also raise the stakes in doing so. So all that stuff, like, again, positive on it. Like, I think this is well worth your watch. And, you know, as you said, Fowler and Long are so good at bringing us into the LAPD, because there had to be the characters we follow that go in and make us not completely hate them, because, you know, we have to have someone to latch onto and a little bit of hope there. But still, at the end of the day, you know, you have Justin Long's character echoing the you know, we're not all bad apples throughout the entire movie, and we know how it ends. So.
One other thing I want to emphasize before we move on from this one, I thought Ryan and his cinematographer, Benjamin Kitchens, did a pretty phenomenal job photographing this movie. It's got like a real nice texture to it that very quickly envelops you in this world and makes everything feel real. And it kind of makes you feel like you're right there on the ground with them all every single step of the way. It's very, very effective. And, you know, this is an independently produced movie. And I think the production value is absolutely through the roof in every single respect. I feel like this can very much live at the same level of many a studio movie that has a far bigger budget, but this one looks just as good, if not better. So I am so impressed by the crafts team here. $2
million for this.
Mighty impressive.
Yeah.
Mighty impressive. With that, do you want to score first?
Yeah, I'm a solid 3 out of 5.
I think I'm going to roll with I'm going to go with a 4 out of 5 on this one. I quite liked it, and I'm eager to see it again.
A little shaggy, but still good.
With that, we are at 2250, and we are going to review the Black Phone 2. My bad, Black Phone 2.
Well, I did that. I had to go through my entire first draft and delete all the thes.
Admittedly, I was on high alert, watching out for the thes, and now I just said it.
For the thes.
I will read the IMDb synopsis. As Finn, now 17, struggles with life after his captivity, his sister begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone and seeing disturbing visions of 3 boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. That's fine. That's accurate.
Absolutely.
I will happily start with this one. I thought this movie was phenomenal. I think the Black Phone 2, maybe I shouldn't say this so broadly, but I think this is a prime example of an exceptional continuation of an original film. To me, the Black Phone 2 very much feels connected, obviously, you know, through the characters and the narrative, but even with style to the first film, but then it also finds ways to expand the grabber lore and also what Finney and Gwen are capable of, that it lets it tap into other corners of supernatural horror. Obviously, everybody's talking about the movie's Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, and I think those are very much there, and I think they work with them really well. I'm always fascinated by a filmmaker who could make their their homages, their influence is so incredibly obvious, but also take those things and make them feel so uniquely their own. And I think they do that kind of brilliantly here with what the Grabber is capable of. I also thought that Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw were like absolutely exceptional. I thought they were great in the first film. I walked away from the black phone being like, those two right there, they are the stars of the future. And sure enough, both of them are crushing it. They got a couple scenes, they got many scenes in this movie where I was like, wow, to be so early on in your career and to be able to do stuff like that, the possibilities are endless for them. I'm not going to tell you what one of my favorite performance beats of theirs is with much specificity, but I will tell you there's a conversation between the two of them and one other character that I'm just like, you guys can do anything. I am sitting in a puddle of tears and you have earned every one of them. Awesome.
Yeah, I really like how this became Gwen's movie. The idea that, like, obviously Finney is the major character of the first one for reasons of kidnapping and whatnot, but Gwen kind of, this is what I wanted from the sequel in almost every way, because it becomes about her powers and what that means and connections with her mother and all that stuff. So the playing around of all of that is, I think, next level. I agree with you in talking about sequels broadly. Horror sequels can be cash-ins so easy. They can just be, oh my God, we made so much money on the original, we have to make another one. And think of how many Fridays or Paranormal Activities just feel like a rehash of the last movie. That is not here. This is completely standalone. It feels unique and fresh to its own voice. The complete swerve for the Grabber to go into Freddy Krueger territory is phenomenal. I mean, the trailer shows enough gore and whatnot to say, like, there's another mystery, but like the Grabber being this dreamland demon works so well. Like, they do a really good job with it. And Derrickson is back with a Super 8 camera to delineate between dreamland is his Super 8 kind of feel. And
I am obsessed with the evolution of the use of Super 8 in this movie. And
yeah.
When we're allowed to talk spoilers, I will explain this more thoroughly, but there's like a connectivity that I'm seeing from film to film to film, whether it's a Black Phone film or maybe a Sinister film, where I just think where they land with Super 8 in this one, like, it made me feel good. It made me feel happy, if that makes sense. Because we talk about that a lot with the original Black Phone. It's pretty incredible that such a dark, twisted scenario could actually feel like really hopeful and inspiring at the end in terms of how they stop the Grabber. And I think this movie has a lot of those types of qualities. And again, it gets very, very dark, but the way it shines a light on life and our relationships and our unique abilities, I think that's something special that most super dark horror movies don't achieve.
Yeah, I will say though, like, it took a little for me to get into it back again. I think there's a lot of pre-story, and we're talking about another longer movie. Getting to Alpine and getting the Grabber more aggressively involved, let's say. I think there is a bit of a pacing problem in the beginning, but that's it. I think once it gets rolling, it is just unstoppable. And once it really hits full aggression, there is, once again, like, really nothing like it out there right now. So very positive on it. My things are more with tone and pacing and us knowing where this is going already. I think the unfortunate part of some of the marketing and letting us kind of see how vicious this movie is going to be, and that is delivered upon. Like, it is fully delivered upon, and I love that. But there was a point where we weren't at Alpine yet, and we're still just trying to do like the buildup of character dissection. And while that is important and necessary, I just felt it went on a little longer than I had to, and it made me think of the timing again.
I will wholly disagree with that. I think all that time spent, reintegrating the audience into Finney and Gwen's world made it feel really lived in, and it made the wild horror stuff that happens at Alpine Lake even more impactful. I also thought that the beginning stuff really served Jeremy Davies' character very well, who plays their father. I was really curious to see where they took him this film, and I thought that they brought that character back very, very effectively. One other thing that we haven't spoken about is the score, which was done by Scott Derrickson's son, Atticus Derrickson, and I think he's like a great composer.
Yeah, it's really good.
I thought he did a great job throughout, but one particular portion of the movie where I like really noticed the effectiveness of his work and how it was amplifying everything else happening in the movie was with the Super 8 stuff. The score in this one does feel like it skews a little more sinister than the last movie. And personally, I found that pairing with the use of Super 8 in this movie to be, I don't know, just incredibly impactful.
Yeah, technically really well done. Like it's Derrickson. Come on, like we know what to expect at this point. Like we know he's going to play with mediums and stuff like that. So I was very happy to see that. And once again, like my tonal and pacing complaints are more of just kind of the build up and the anticipation, maybe getting the best of me. But it's as a sequel, it's exactly what I want to see. Like legitimately, it is exactly where I want to see filmmakers take their ideas and evolve them instead of just rehashing and recreating. Like this is such a like gift to fandoms. It's like it's not manipulating. It's not giving you just, well, we're gonna cash in again. Like no, this is genuinely what Cargill and Derrickson both said. They weren't going to do a sequel unless they found the perfect story, and like they did. Like I full faith in them to begin with, but seeing the product, they absolutely did.
With that, what do you want to score it?
That's a 3.5 for me. I'm a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, okay. I'm going big with this one. This is one of my favorite movies of the festival. Maybe at the end we'll each say our top 3 because I think I'm pretty confident in mine at this point. But this is one of my favorites. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal movie scale. I had high hopes for a Black Phone sequel, and this movie just blew those expectations away. I was so impressed. Now, at 3127, we're talking about the restoration at Grayson Manor. Do you want to do synopsis duties on this one?
I'm petting Rogers very quickly. You do this one. He was backing up, so I want to make sure he's good.
I am queuing up this IMDb page to make sure I don't ruin anything for you. The foundations of Grayson Manor are shaken when an accident leaves Boyd Grayson handless, and his mother invests in radical new technology to help him. I liked this movie quite a bit. I pushed play on. I said this to them in our interview, and I will repeat it again now because I do think it speaks to why this movie feels so uniquely special and like it could maybe appeal to the broadest possible audience. I push play on this movie and I very instantly get a clear sense of the tone that they're going for. They're leaning into the melodrama. They have a soap opera type feel. And admittedly, that's not usually my kind of thing. I like enough groundedness to make everything feel real and a little scary. And it's a difficult thing for me to put into words, but the way they do it worked really well. This movie is quite heightened. They swing for the fences in so many ways, yet I can't necessarily call the movie grounded at all because it's not really. But I think the way I have to put it is that it's just grounded enough in their reality. And I believed in their reality that I was able to have fun with the theatrics, but also still care about the situation as it unfolded. I was very impressed by this one.
Yeah, it's a delusion of the 1%. You're stuck in this fucking despicable world ruled by people, the higher class, quote unquote. And like it's definitely dark, it's bitchy, it's flamboyant, it's all those things. And
bitchy. It is indeed.
My God, it is very. Indeed. But like that's the point of it. Like it's giving you a taste of. It's showing you the bad instead of like being subtle once again about something. It is showing you the bad side of things. And I think as long as you can be on the wavelength of a movie that very much portrays the worst of the worst and lets them get away with things because it's just they're terrible people, but they are the ruling class. I think there's entertainment there. I think it is fun in a weird way, fun in a kind of melodramatic, just really fucking mean way. Like honestly, it's a really mean movie. It's incredibly mean. And so if that's the kind of flavor you are looking for, I think that's definitely here. Really like the lead performance.
It's playfully mean though. It's playfully mean because usually mean is something that I shy away from as well.
I don't know if it's that playful about it. It's pretty damn mean.
I don't know. I think it teeters just enough into like sillier territory that it at least worked for my taste in that department.
Yeah, no, I like my tolerance for mean is
Yes, I do.
way different than yours. I like it to
Very
be
different.
I like it to be as mean as possible. No, I enjoyed it. I giggled at it. It's one of those movies that kind of was an easy watch for me.
Yeah, I found it to be a very easy watch too. I thought Chris Colfer was great in that lead role. I know he is busy, churning out a book series and thriving in many other aspects of his career, but I watched this movie and I'm like many of his fans out there. I really do think we need him on screen more often than we have recently. So I
Yeah.
hope he keeps acting.
He's so
Him-
effortlessly like charisma is just crazy.
Yeah, he was perfect for that role. I just also thought the execution of all the effects in this was really impressive. I don't know how far I'm going to teeter into what actually happens, although
I mean,
I think I
I
can.
was going to answer this because like, is it? It's like, yeah, it's like Succession meets Idle Hands. Like that's literally.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you just said it. I thought the work with the hands was top tier.
Yeah.
I thought everything looked. I thought it all looked great. I thought it all looked believable enough. They had fun with the concept. I thought that was great.
That's the thing about a movie like Restoration at Grayson Manor, like playing Fantastic Fest, and for us critics, like it was not one of the most well attended at the festival. Like it, like it had the shortest amount of slots it could have, and it's a smaller movie and stuff. So I think the hook of a movie like this and getting people to watch it is saying that the main character Boyd has his hands cut off at the very beginning, and the whole time, like you're watching this mother basically create a hospital in their house as it's being.
She's great too. Alice Krige is she's so good. I loved watching her and Chris go toe to toe, but she's also one of those types of characters that is just, or actors actually, that's just electric with every single person in that house.
But again, if we don't tell people that, if we describe it as a fun, bitchy melodrama, like, sure, that's going to hook some people. But if we say, yeah, it's a fun, bitchy melodrama about hands that are being created to replace the ones that the main character lost, and they can have a mind of their own, that is a much more interesting pitch for people to watch Restoration. So I think, like, it's the thing of how much do you want to spoil, how much do you not want to? Like, that is not a secret. That is the entire crux of the movie. So I would rather have people know they're coming into a weird, wacko creature feature in a way with cybernetic hands than they would just thinking this is a mother and son kind of quarrel movie.
Matt, I'm still scarred by the film festival debut of It's What's Inside, where we were not allowed to say the hook of the movie.
That was Netflix's problem.
No, it wasn't. It was pre-Netflix. It was not their choice.
Oh, that's Sundance?
They had not sold it yet.
Shit.
Meanwhile, then they sold it for an insane amount of money, and then Netflix did nothing with it. Not to make this about that movie, but I will go ahead and give you my score for the Restoration at Grayson Manor, which I very much recommend. I'm going to go with 3.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal Movie scale.
I'm one notch lower. I'm a 3 out of 5, but still fun. Like it's just a fun, easy watch.
All right.
Good one to throw on there.
At 38, it's all you, Matt, because this one is Sirat.
This one, I don't know how much I want to give away because this one is, well, I mean, the hinges and the surprises here, they do come and they like blew me away. So I will say Sirat is the Spanish selection for the Oscars, I believe. I think it's the Spanish language one. But it is about a father who has his son and dog in tow, and they are searching for the father's daughter and sister, who is supposedly at a rave in the desert. And they get to the rave, so they're asking around, and the military comes, they disperse the ravers. A group goes their own way and say, hey, we're going to go to another rave. I think your daughter might be there. So the family follows, looking for their missing family member. And the adventure that they go on, it gets dark, it gets light, it makes you feel things, and it makes you just fucking your heart sink at points. And that's all I want to say about it, because that was what I knew going in. And I think this movie is very dependent on not really knowing. But I think what got me is, number one, the sound design, because we're talking about rave culture and we're talking about a man who is trying, like an older man who is trying to understand why rapes. Like, why do people do this? Why do people just travel around as nomads and give themselves to drugs and music? And that's the kind of sweeter parts that as he starts to understand why these people that society might look at as, throwaways and Denzians and stuff like that, they're just this really loving community. And the sound that accompanies that, like, we're getting trance tracks the whole time. Like, it's always like a good beat that's going and whatnot. And then the way that lull, I would say, like the way you're lulled into kind of comfort and just the music is rhythmic and you just kind of get hypnotized by it. The way that the darkness of the film comes out is so interconnected with that. And again, so dependent on the sound just hitting you in the face. Oof, real good. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And I saw it at 2:00 as my first movie on a day. And I was just like, whatever I saw right after Sirat, I was like, I'm sorry. There's no way I'm going to have any kind of time for you.
What you scoring it?
That's a 4 for me. That's a 4 out of 5.
We got a 4. And with that, we are at 435, 40-35. And we're doing If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Might have to pick up the pace a little. We have a lot more to get to. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is an upcoming A24 movie that I thought was excellent. The synopsis reads, with her life crashing down around her, Linda attempts to navigate her child's mysterious illness, her absent husband, a missing person, and an increasingly hostile relationship with her therapist. Sorry, I had to expand it and it took a minute. I thought this movie was excellent. You might look at a movie like this and be like, why is it playing at Fantastic Fest? Is that horror? Fuck yeah, it's horror. It is incredibly unsettling. This was probably one of the movies that I walked out of the theater the most exhausted because I was just like up to my eyeballs in stress nonstop. I think Rose Byrne gives like an incredible performance that, yes, I do think should put her on the map for the Academy Awards this year. I am really rooting to see that nomination happen. I was also wildly impressed by Conan O'Brien. I thought he gives one of the most standout performances of the year as well. And that is such a complex situation to have to navigate. Like his characters, like his character feels like so heavy to me, like I could feel the weight of everything he's dealing with, but also like the pressure he's putting on her and the pressure she's putting on him at the same time. I was very, very fascinated by their dynamic together. Mary Bronstein, I think, directed the crap out of this movie. There's so many times where you could just tell her decisions behind the lens are amplifying her actors' performances and every other aspect of this production. I thought this was an excellent watch.
Yeah, A$AP Rocky, I was going to bring him up too.
Yes.
A$AP Rocky is great in a supporting role.
Great.
I really enjoyed this as again a Rose Byrne fucking centerpiece. Once again, I still have catching up to do for award season. At this point, I assume she has a shot. I'm not going to say she's definitely getting it until I can digest everything for that category, but it's a really sorrowful and honest look at both the privilege and imprisonment of motherhood. Mm-hmm. And like the movie takes both of those elements. Like it is using both of those and it is saying both of those things in tandem. But like specifically the way that mothers are just left to do everything while, the men and everyone else around them just like go on. Like it is just motherhood and society's version of it, where it is just it's just going to happen. It's that thing you're assumed to do. And you see someone who, very much again loves their child, but the situation is just, you can't prepare for that. I forget who tweeted it, but it's just one of those, they kind of said like, it gets so right that parenting is just saying over and over again, like, I'm doing this right? Like that kind of thing. And I think to represent that is hard. To represent that could again become, lean two ways, where it could become too serious and you lose people, or just too farcical and you're just, what are you doing with it? And I think this toes that line very well of, you just feel everything she's going through, and it is just so authentically scared and authentically beaten to shit. And yeah, I hope she does get a nomination after saying that, because she is fucking great in it.
Mm-hmm. I thought, yeah, I thought she was phenomenal. I'm rooting for it. Keep my fingers crossed. I think it's a very real possibility too, which is nice.
Yeah.
What are you scoring? If I had legs, I'd kick you.
I'm gonna go with 4 again. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because fucking great.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning 4.5, so I'm going to stick with 4.5 out of 5 Deweys on the Dewey Dessa movie scale. Now we are at 44.35, and that means we're talking about Sisu, Road to Revenge. I'm so happy, Matt. I'm so happy. I was so nervous when they announced a sequel to this movie. I'm like, the original Sisu is so well executed. There's such a wonderful simplicity to that concept. How can you possibly do that again? And they did. They did. Here is the brief synopsis of Sisu, Road to Revenge. A man returns to dismantle his family's house where they were murdered in war to rebuild it elsewhere. When the killer, a Red Army commander, tracks him down, a brutal cross-country pursuit begins. The idea of him breaking his house down and bringing it to safer territory is just absolutely brilliant. It's so effective. Yet again, during that cross-country pursuit, it is just like top tier set piece after top tier set piece with me sitting there being like, how are you doing this? Excellent. Loved it.
Yes, this is my favorite from the festival. The way that it takes the approach to the sequel, and like I fucking said in my review, it feels like a Fast and the Furious sequel. It just is. It like again in Soviet post World War II Soviet era times where there's still so much like militaristic implications, and this Finnish man is now just chewing through the Red Army instead of Nazis. So you have the gratification of evil people meeting their just demises. Stephen Lang is great. Like Mike just brought it up. How is Stephen Lang? He played like Stephen Lang and Richard Brake. Like who else could we add to this to have like the fun back and forth? The two perfect fucking veteran villains to do that.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Lang's just like really good. He does everything in this movie where he does feel like a really badass, formidable foe for this character that we already know can take anyone down. Like, I feel like that was another thing where, like, how can you find a villain that would make me fear for his life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they do it. But then on top of that, Stephen Lang has a couple of, he's got one main monologue that I really love, but he's got a couple of beats in this movie where I'm like, that guy does not get enough credit for what an exceptional actor he is. I just couldn't believe how, I don't know, in like a more dramatic beat, how every single word that comes out of his mouth just like really hits me to my core. I was so impressed by him.
Yeah. So like, I don't like, if you love the first one, you're gonna it's the same thing over again. Just again, replace the Nazis with Soviets and also make the explosions bigger.
Yeah,
like grit, gunsmoke, explosions, and from the start, there's no wasted time. You are literally just going along with this lead character who we've already seen go through hell, have to literally drive through hell now just to get a little bit of the peace that he used to have. But there is, man, I even teared up at the end of this movie. Like
I was gonna say, I don't want to,
but like.
I don't want to spoil the
ending. I still cried at the end. Like it is one of those perfect like throwback 90s action, 80s, 90s action movies. It doesn't give a shit about what it's doing except to make you happy. And that's it. I was so happy.
The way you just put it, there's no better fit for John Rambo the movie than Yamari, who directed this one. So
man, and he's so underrated. Like just go back to edit. Like man, like his Christmas horror movie, Rare Package.
Oh yeah, Rare Exports.
I like Big Game. I thought Big Game was fun. I don't know. I think he's a great fucking director. So give him everything.
Yeah. I'm going 4.5 out of 5 for this. What are you going?
I'm going 4.5.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to. Yeah. Why speak when violence?
All right. At 48.30, we are switching gears to, I'll just say this, it's one of my favorites of the festival, is Whistle. This one I'm quite confident doing the synopsis because I've done it a couple of times thanks to our Comic-Con panel. This movie involves a group of high school kids who happen upon an ancient death whistle. When you blow this whistle, anybody who hears it winds up being hunted by their death. And that means anything could be coming for them, because when you think in life, some people die super old, some people don't die that old, and the possibilities for how we can leave this world are absolutely endless, which means there are like endless creative possibilities for death sequences in this movie. And I think Corin Hardy makes the absolute most of it. I will somewhat sum up what I put in my social media reaction. I really like horror stories where a group of friends happen upon like a haunted item or get hunted by a slasher, and like one by one they get their big moment and then they're out of the picture. I think this movie uses that kind of story structure to the best possible effect. I love the idea of this whistle. I love how Corin photographs the whistle itself and also what it's capable of doing. Shit. Now we run into the part of the review where I want to talk about how creative these death sequences are, which I'm not going to do, but I will say there's great variety here. I think this is another movie. I'm curious to hear how you feel about this, but this is another movie where it takes its time to get to the blood and gore. And personally, I really appreciate that. And again, I think this is a story structure that demands it. Unless you are invested in this group of characters, why would you care when they die? But I cared when every single one of them died. And I also think that speaks to the actors' ability to make their characters whole. I thought Daphne Keane was an excellent anchor for this movie. She carries the weight of her character's past very, very well. I thought Sophie Nélisse made for an excellent co-lead. I think that in lesser hands, the relationship between their characters might not have been as effective, as palpable, but I really believed in their chemistry with one another. I thought Sky Yang in particular just leapt off the screen the second I saw him. And I will say, again, without spoiling anything, but like that character's arc feels more extreme maybe than any of the others. And the fact that he's able to make all of that feel like the same person was very impressive to me.
Yeah, I liked Whistle. It was a nice closing night movie. It gets the vibes right of being this Final Destination remix and finding a unique way to do it.
That is why I like it, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. But again, like the idea that like you call your death early. I love that, basically.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, like I think I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the idea of like calling upon the specific death that you might have had later and having to confront that. I think, yeah, like that's, and the design of the whistle is so fucking cool. Like
so cool.
That is really great. And I think that's a phenomenal prop, but for me, I might disagree a little bit that it's really well crafted before the kills and stuff like that. I don't think the American high school aspect of it kind of feels slight. And there are definitely sweet moments. I really enjoy this. There's like two bursts of like vitality where I get more than just kind of stereotypical John Hughes prototype characters going through the motions to meet their deaths. But again, it's very fun and very well executed outside of that. And Corin loves horror, and you see that bleeding through. I had to laugh when a character named Mr. Craven is smoking Cronenberg branded cigarettes right before we see a shot before going into Verhoeven's fucking steel warehouse or whatever. And it's like, I see you, Corin.
Yeah, there's a Muschietti reference somewhere too. Like maybe it's like a pack of matches or something. I can't.
Yeah. Like he just crams those references in. But again, it's very reverent to teenage horror of the 80s. It's very reverent to gateway horror that doesn't fucking have padding. Like I love that this goes for R-rated kills over the top. Talking about Primate having like one of your favorite kills of next year. Hands down, one of my favorite kills of this year will be in Whistle. So
yeah, I think I know what it is.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's no way it's not. Sorry, Whistle's next year. You're right. Sorry, Whistle's February.
Yeah, Whistle's also next year.
Yeah, Whistle's next year too. So we already have two great kills for next year. They're gonna be on my list.
Yeah, I'm quite obsessed with this one. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5, and at the end of this, it's going to be one of my favorites. Not only do I think Whistle is a very well-made movie, this is also just the type of movie that I wind up watching and rewatching happily, and that always gives a movie a pretty big place in my heart. So this is going to wind up being one of my favorite at Fantastic Fest.
3.5 out of 5.
I'll take it.
Enjoyed it.
I'll take it. All right, 5405. We are talking about Theater is Dead. Do you want to give the synopsis for this one?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, and
I'll give it.
I didn't love it that much, so.
All right. Sheltered Willow auditions for mysterious director Matthew's play, a Greek tragedy adaptation. Enthralled, she ignores dangers and undergoes self-discovery as the lead under his tutelage. Why didn't you like it, Matt?
I thought it was, talking about movies being too on the nose and stuff like that, I felt, I get that this is a satire of theater culture and a satire of Hollywood and all of that stuff, and creatives and signing your soul to become the ultimate creator of whatever you're doing. The message is very clear. I get all of that. I found it cartoonishly obnoxious at times. I don't think it was funny in the way it wanted to be. It was just overbearingly tropey and playing the same stereotypes in ways that did not work for me all the way. I just didn't find myself laughing when I should have been, and I wasn't enjoying what I should have. Where I compare this to like Stage Fright that we saw at South by Southwest, a horror musical that is once again playing with a theater company and playing with kind of a lot of the same themes in certain ways. And that was just organically funny and intentionally funny. And I was rolling with that kind of humor where I just found like a blockage in Theater is Dead where I did not vibe with it at all. So
I am going to disagree on that one. This was another one where I had a very similar experience as I did with Restoration at Grayson Manor, where I knew what type of movie it was at the beginning, and I immediately thought that it was not going to be for me. It was never going to wind up working, but I got caught up in it pretty quickly. And I think more so than anything, I really appreciated just the entertainment value in it and the fun I had with it. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I think the ensemble is really good here. It's a rather large ensemble of main characters, and I think every single one of them gets their opportunity to shine, where all of the characters very quickly became memorable for me. Like one of my favorite ensemble tests in a movie is how quick does it take me to remember everybody's name? And the fact that I remembered everybody's name in this movie very, very fast immediately earned it some points for me. I also quite liked the mythology that they were starting to build here and where they land with it. I found that really interesting. And I tend to really I like movies about making movies, and I think that extends to movies that are commenting on theater culture. And I think the combination of the lore that they established with that wound up pairing really well for me. So this one's getting a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, 2.5.
Oh, wow. I am going to go 3.5 out of 5. I quite enjoyed this one, and I will recommend it. At 57.20, let's talk about Bugonia. Oh, Bugonia.
Okay. Bugonia.
Excuse me?
I don't like it.
You didn't like Bugonia?
No. Negative review.
All right. Two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying planet Earth. Why did you not like Bugonia?
I don't know if I can say exactly why. I can, sorry, but I don't know if I can say here because it is largely tied to the end.
Okay.
And I will try to do my best very quickly. I think the performances are solid. 100%. Like we're talking about Emma Stone and fucking Jesse Plemons. Like, of course they're fucking solid. The conversational tension between them is enthralling, but also off kilter and pace for me, where we are trying to decide if Emma Stone is an alien or not. And that is that's the movie. The movie is she is being held captive. We're trying to decide if she's an alien or not because Jesse Plemons thinks so, because he's a fucking crazy Reddit conspiracy theorist and he goes down rabbit holes and has lost his mind to what we are seeing happen in reality. And as that keeps drolling on, I didn't find the back and forth to be sustainably tense, despite both of them doing good in the roles. I think that was more just a byproduct of the writing and whatnot and what they were given. And where the movie ends, while I will say this is a movie of it's a remake of a 2003 South Korean movie, Save the Green Planet, whether or not it does exactly what that movie does and whether or not it is a faithful adaptation, in today's world, I didn't want to see where that ended. And it kind of ruined the movie for me a little bit. So that's just what it is.
I can understand that. I did like the movie. I thought the movie sustained the idea of its main characters being walking contradictions really, really well. There's no doubt this one's going to be a conversation starter. And while I do really like having that kind of discourse after seeing a movie, there is maybe a hopefully small section of that conversation that I don't look forward to seeing happening. So that might be speaking to what you are referencing. I thought Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone were absolutely incredible in this film. The way I describe it is watching two masters at their craft, just going head to head the entire time. And I could have watched them do that for hours and hours and hours. I think they're given really sharp dialogue that they know just how to make human enough coming out of their mouths. And I thought that's kind of key to the movie. If I don't feel like every ounce and then some of how much their character believes in what they're saying, even at times when they're saying something that is maybe saying something to get someone to do something else, the whole movie collapses. And I thought they were just exceptional at that. Also, Aidan Delbus, who plays Jesse Plemons' character's cousin.
Yeah, really good. I won't fight that. Really good.
This is his first feature film. It is not easy to step onto a set alongside experienced powerhouses like Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. And he does such a brilliant job of commanding space and having really natural screen presence. I was also wildly impressed by him. I also loved the cinematography of this movie. The large majority of it takes place in one location. Not easy to keep one location as dynamic as they do, but I thought Robbie Ryan's work yet again is just like off the charts, incredible. I also really loved the score here. Jerskin Bendrix did it, and it's one of those scores where I think really serves the movie well at every single moment of the film, but it's also one of the ones that I'm going to probably take with me and just listen to for fun because I thought it was really great. I thought it was edited really well too. I found that the movie flowed. It felt pretty seamless to me. And given the fact that the movie needs to juggle Jesse Plemons' character and Emma Stone's character equally, I found that to be a really difficult task without making the audience feel like you're experiencing whiplash every time it jumps from perspective to perspective. And I think them making that work really depended on solid editing. So I thought that was another exceptional aspect of this movie. Overall, I really dug it. But yeah, I understand why you feel the way you feel about the ending.
Yeah. I would love to go deeper into that. Maybe we will when the movie comes out, but that's where I must.
What are you scoring it?
2.5 out of 5.
Oh boy. Oh, it did that. Yeah.
Yep.
I understand. I think I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5 for Bugonia. All right. We're over an hour.
We're rocking. We're rolling.
All right. No, we're not. At 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 52 seconds, it's the Matt Show for Deathstalker.
So, this is going to be... I'm going to sound like a lunatic here, but that's fine. If you like Astron Sticks, there is so much that they have done that I don't think I have to go into. Hold on. I want to make sure I get the name of the actual director correct. Okay, 1983. There is a movie called Deathstalker that is a swords and sandals fantasy flick, and it is everything you think of like Conan the Barbarian stuff, but just fucking crazy and out there. This year, the director of Psycho Goreman and Frankie Freako, Mr. Steven Kostanski, has directed a remake of a cult classic that most of you probably haven't seen that is pure bonkers batshit crazy. And it is about Deathstalker, this just basically a common thief on the battlegrounds of the kingdom of Axion, blah, 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 blah. Think of just a Dungeons and Dragons world. And he steals an amulet when he shouldn't have. The amulet bonds to him. All the worst villains in the world of Axion and the kingdom want to come after him. And he spends the whole movie fighting off waves of grotesque-looking creatures with his sidekick Doodad, voiced by Patton Oswalt, a tiny little wizard he finds in a treasure chest. there's nothing like it's produced by Slash from Guns N' Roses. It features a closing credits song featuring Slash and Bear McCreary based on the Deathstalker sequel from the 80s. It's insane. It's practical effects heavy. It is basically like put together with nothing but passion and love. If you have seen Psycho Goreman, Frankie Frico, or any of the Astron 6 stuff like The Void and whatnot. So think of that. Think of super fun practical. Think of this barbarian character hacking through pigmen and flying one-eyed cretins and hilarious, stupid-looking evil necromancy wizards. So yeah, it's a blast. I fucking loved it. It's rough around the edges. I understand that. I don't care. It's what I wanted from it.
What are you scoring it?
3.5. Let's go.
All right. Now we are up to good luck, have fun, don't die. Synopsis for this one is: a man from the future arrives at a diner in Los Angeles where he must recruit the precise combination of disgruntled patrons to join him on a one-night quest to save the world from the terminal threat of a rogue artificial intelligence. Matt, how'd you feel about good luck, have fun, don't die?
One of my favorites of the festival. I think it does conspiracy right. I think it also is one of the most poignant and clearly articulated commentaries on where modern AI could go given our current circumstances and how we can regulate it in a meaningful way. Because at the end of the day, this movie is not preaching the Terminator Skynet kind of mantra. It's not about an epic war. It's about what's happening right now, where algorithms are taking over, our critical thinking is going away, and we become mindless zombies. So with all that thrown in, it's also very fun and inventive. And I think Gore Verbinski is like just bringing these big ideas to life in a way that I love to see him do, particularly since not really doing much feature wise since A Cure for Wellness. Sam Rockwell fucking crushes it. How could he not? Because he's Sam fucking Rockwell. And yeah, I thought this was really constructive storytelling around AI in a time where it's just either pure farcical paranoia or gross bootlicking.
I did not love this one as much as others. I'm definitely positive on it. I think it's a swing for the fences kind of film, and I will always applaud that. I got a little hung up on some of the rules established and needing to make sure everything aligned. I have a feeling this is one of those movies where I'm going to see it a second time and my score will change, whether it goes up or down. I did enjoy the ride the first time around. This is another movie that I think moves especially well. It's like if you don't like one particular segment of the movie, before you know it, you're whisked away to the next one. And I really enjoyed the colorful ensemble of characters here. I thought that worked really well. When it comes to the argument against AI, I don't like AI. AI sucks. I will watch any movie that tears it down. There's something about this one, though, where I think I almost wanted it to recognize the fact that other technology existed, if that makes much sense.
In what way? I like not to
prolong, as in a separation from, or more clearly explaining like why AI is bad, but why other technology can be good. Why not artificial intelligence can be good.
Well, that's. I think that would take away from the story itself, though, because this is purely about regulating AI, and it's less about is it good or bad. We already know what it is,
yes,
and more about how to handle it. So to me, it's more the extreme focus on AI is there. So I'm trying.
Yeah, there was something. I understand why it was so heavy-handed in that mission, but there was something about the heavy-handed nature of it that like took me out of like the reality that I know to be true. If that makes sense.
Everything else still exists. So yes. It's like it's so focused on AI. But
which admittedly, I will say is the intended style of the movie. I am almost essentially saying like, why couldn't this movie be what I wanted? So. You know, there's definitely a flaw to my argument there, but something about it didn't click quite as strongly as it seems to be clicking for everybody else.
I mean, that's Bugonia for me, so I get it.
Yes,
like, I'm not going to fight you on that.
Still going to go ahead and give Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die a 3.5 out of 5. They are doing a whole lot, again, with minimal resources here, and I was very impressed by how they pulled quite a bit of it off, and I think everybody in the ensemble is just like top tier, doing wonderfully big work that I quite enjoyed.
You're still only half a point off for me. It's a 4
Oh,
out of 5.
really?
Oh yeah, it's a 4 out of
Huh.
5 for me. Like
Okay.
you're still only half a point.
Yeah.
I love you. Like, I don't know if I love it, but did 3 out of 3.5.
Like a lot of people walked out of that movie being like, "This is one of my favorite of the festival," and I'm like, "Well, I liked it, but I don't know if it's like getting me as hyped as certain other movies here."
I mean, like again, it is one of my favorite of the festival, but it's a 4 out of 5 still. Like
All right.
maybe that's more a me thing than anything.
Well, with that, we are gonna get to one of my favorites of the festival. One of my favorites of the festival, if this movie was coming out this year, it would undeniably be a favorite of the year. So now I'm going to save it till 2026. We are up to Obsession. I'm obsessed with Obsession. A hopeless romantic's wish for his crush's love triggers a dark enchantment in Curry Barker's eerie directorial debut. This movie is so smart, Matt. It's so smart. Right. It's so well done. The concept is so freaking simple, but it says so much with that idea. The main character here is just like a super sad kind of but sweet guy who just wants the attention of the woman he's loved for so long, to the point where he thinks he's done something totally harmless. He picks up a gag gift in a store. Who would ever think something like that would work? He makes a wish. What is it called? A one-wish willow. He makes a wish. And as we've learned in many movies, when you make a wish and it's actually going to work, make sure you mind your wording, because what he starts is not what he intended. And by doing that, it really has a whole lot to say about relationship dynamics that make for a really wild and hugely entertaining film, but also has a whole lot to say about how we navigate this world and forces you to question what you might do in that situation. And the questions it raises can be quite disturbing.
Yeah, it's about healthy relationships, especially. That's the part that is what's so horrifying, because like you said, like, oh, he's such a nice guy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he wished for someone to not be genuine, and he wished for someone to be an extension of him because it's what he wants. And
he took away her control.
And like that is only a part of the story.
It's so sad, Matt. It's so sad.
But anyway, Curry Barker, if you don't know his TikTok, that's a bad idea. That he's a part of a sketch comedy group, and he also released Milk and Cereal, that MK Songbird. Like, go to his YouTube. If you've never seen Milk and Cereal, go watch that shit. It's for free right now. It is technically his debut. Like, Milk and Cereal is his future debut. But in any case, Obsession is fucking great. It is the perfect kind of manipulative monkey's paw storytelling that, Perry's right, goes fucking full force. It takes that simple concept and pushes it to such an extreme extent. And it is one of those debuts from a comedian going to horror that we have seen recently, like Jordan Peele, like Zach Kreger. Go down the list. Bobcat Goldthwait. It's all there. Like, Curry Barker is fucking one to watch for horror, and holy shit, is Obsession good.
Yeah.
And gross and nasty and gets under your skin. And lead actress, you know how to say her name.
Oh my God. No, I don't. And I'm stressed about it. I tried to look up briefly before we started this. Indy Navarrete.
That's how I'm saying it. That's so okay.
Like I said about the movie overall, next year I will be shocked if her performance in this movie isn't one of my favorite performances of the entire year. I know she's got some other credits, so some of you might be familiar with her, but this was really the first time I've ever seen and noticed her in something. And I will tell you, this is a role. Not only is this a role, but this is an entire concept that hinges on her ability to sell every single ounce of it. I obviously think every person involved in this production is very, very important. But if that performance doesn't work, this whole idea crumbles. And her ability to display the physical turmoil her character is in after the wish is made, and also like the internal, the emotional, is really exceptional work. I was just totally floored by her performance in this movie.
Focus features.
What a smart buy. I believe this movie sold for $15 million out of
it was even more. Yeah, it was even more than that. It was like 15 million plus, and it ended up being like 17. So good for him.
Please, 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 Focus Features, handle this one with care. You have acquired gold. Give it the distribution it deserves. Give it the promotion, the marketing. I am not going to stop talking about how damn good this movie. I will do my part, but I just hope this is a sale that, you know, the effort to get it out into the world matches that exceptional price tag, which I think this film and the team behind it very much deserved.
4 out of 5. I forgot. Got to do that.
4.5 out of 5. This is also one of my favorites of the festival. At 1 hour, 14 minutes and 55 seconds, we have hit the Creep Tapes season 2. Is this one just me? Did you watch it?
I did.
I'll keep this short and sweet. I thought the Creep Tapes season 1 was rock solid. They showed us 3 episodes from season 2, and I think they are undeniably raising the bar this season. These first 3 episodes that I saw, the ideas just feel so tight and sharp. And to me, very much, I thought this before a bit, but I really believe it to my core after seeing these 3 episodes that the creative possibilities for Peach Fuzz and Joseph and the corners of his world that we can explore and the situations we can find him in are kind of endless. Because this news is already out there. One of these episodes involves David Dastmalchian, and seeing David and Mark Duplass go head to head is like a dream come true for someone who admires both of them so much as actors. And really, like, when you hear it, if your hype goes up, they will make do on that hype. They're excellent. I thought the concept of all 3 of these episodes, again, I'm not going to spoil the details, even though some of the details are out there, but I'm going to be careful. I think it's just like, this is really, really smart, independent television making. And I think the quality of it is something to celebrate, but I also think we need to keep recognizing the fact that they are making this show in a really special way. And the way that Mark Duplass is shepherding independent TV right now and only making TV where, you know, like, he is taking these massive swings that other companies won't let anybody take. I feel like he's doing something very, very special in that space. And I think you could see that in a lot of his work, but especially in the Creep Tape. So big applause to him and Patrick Bryce with how they're expanding this franchise. I think this is another example of a franchise expansion that so well deserved. Yes, it feels very connected to what came before, but they are proving with each episode that there is more to mine in this concept. So loved these episodes. Now we are at 1 hour, 17 minutes and 10 seconds for Deathgasm 2 Goremaggedon. I will let you take this away, but I have seen it.
I will go very quickly here and say that Brody returns in Deathgasm 2. And if you've seen Deathgasm, you know that only half of the band gets out alive. So Deathgasm 2 is a jokier sequel, I will say. It is more lighthearted. It is simply about Brody using the Black Hymn using the Black Hymn necromancy pages, because now there is the addition of different spells and the Black Hymn is expanding, let's say. So he brings his bandmates back to life. And basically the movie is about him trying to win back his girlfriend Medina, who has broken up with him because he's a fucking drunk loser, and also win a battle of the bands because he is still a drunk loser who doesn't have any success, and that is why. So very friendship comedy, very juvenile humor once again. The sinister undertones of the first one are kind of missing, which I think is a little bit of a subtraction. Where this purely is just about like almost like an 80s comedy. It's very Uncle Peckerhead. It's very Fido. And that is all well and good, but I'm still a fan of Deathgasm greatly. So for me, even though it's a step down, I enjoyed the return of Brody. I think Mila Cawthorn is so fun in that role. And I really do enjoy watching like Zach being a zombie and having to be his rebellious, violent self, but as a zombie now. And of course, there's always gonna be fun with like, a human character has to make sure his zombie friend doesn't eat everyone and all that stuff. But paramount to everything, the gore rips. Talk about kill sequences again. Talk about all that stuff. I don't think I've ever seen any more dicks get mutilated on screen at once than in Deathgasm 2. And that is just one single scene of gore. Everything is just a Peter Jackson level-esque of cartoonishly brutal fun. But it's always inventive. It's always something new. And best of all, it's always practical. So fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Matt Heafy of Trivium does the score and has a cameo, and the fucking music again rips.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I prefer the first Deathgasm. I think the tone change here does hurt it a little. In particular, for me, it lowered the stakes a little bit. But I also think they came up with a concept that well justifies the horror comedy, heavy on the comedy vibe. I really did think the idea of bringing his bandmates back as zombies and, kind of, it almost gives it like a fish out of water vibe that I thought worked really well,
exactly
trying to figure out how to navigate life when half the band is a zombie. And I thought that worked pretty well. I thought there were clever spins on that concept that I didn't really see coming, and I enjoyed. It's the kind of movie that really like grew on me. Admittedly, when I first started it, I think I felt a little detached from the characters and the concept because it's been so long since Deathgasm, but by the end they almost all crawled their way back into my heart again and made me want to spend more time with them. Like I left this movie wanting a third one, which is a major plus. There was another point that I really wanted to make, and now, I will say, while I did feel detached from the characters and the concept at the beginning of the movie, I do think they make the most of the time gap between them. That's something that that's something that could basically force a filmmaker's hand when it comes to the rinse, wash, repeat we see very often in horror. And here, I think aging the characters up just because it's been a while since we've seen the last movie winds up working in the film's favor because it gives you so many more layers to explore when the characters are at a completely different stage in life. And I thought that they played with that to great effect here. So I didn't love it as much as the first one, but I still liked it quite a bit, and it left me wanting to see more.
3.5 out of 5 for me.
I'm gonna copy you and say the exact same. Now we are at 22 for VHS Halloween. This one doesn't really need a synopsis. We're getting another VHS movie, and every single one of these segments leans into Halloween. Matt, how did you feel about the 8th installment in the VHS franchise?
Beyond is still my favorite. Everything, it was going to be a step down unless it somehow matched that, no matter what. So for me, it is a little stumble backwards. I really felt detached from one of them specifically. It's called Kid one. Hold on, let me bring it up.
Kid Print. That's Alex Ross Perry's, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not vibe with that at all. To the point where it almost like took me completely out of the movie. But outside of that, right after that is Home Haunt, which is now one of my favorites. Like it immediately went up to one of my favorite segments. So just to touch on like Halloween as a whole, I think there are 3 solid segments with varying degrees of success.
Which ones were the 3? Home Haunt.
Yeah, so let me put it this way. Home Haunt for me, number 1, absolutely fucking awesome. You go hardcore with the practical. It reminded me of the Winters one where it's just so practical forward and having so much fun, and it feels like you're walking through a haunted attraction. Well, in Home Haunt, you literally are, and I think it's a cute story that is done so gruesomely well. And once again, it gives you everything you want from the idea of VHS Halloween. And then from there, like fun-sized, Casper Kelly of Adult Swim fame, Too Many Cooks. He does a killer candy mascot that just
fun size.
Fun size. It's a good concept. And then the ones that like Coochie Coo and Unspira Sic Infera, Paco Plazas. Paco Plaza specifically, like it just didn't feel Halloween-y to me. I understand it's a costume party in some parts, but like it just felt like his idea is a possession idea, and it didn't expand upon Halloween in any other way than like oh no, it took place on Halloween. And that was Coochie Coo too. Like I understand there's trick-or-treaters.
Oh, that's surprising to me with that.
Once you go inside the house, it doesn't matter at that point. It's just kind of this spooky, well done spooky, which again, I enjoyed it. And the monster is great of Mother. But yeah, I think overall, the ones that go hard into Halloween are good.
How'd you feel about the wraparound?
Oh, Diet Phantasma, a fun focus group on a haunted
Yeah.
poltergeist soda. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
I like that.
That one worked. But yeah, no, I didn't love this one as much as I wanted to.
I will agree with you on most. I definitely struggled a little with Kid Print. I don't know. I wanted them to feel sinister because I want my VHS segments to scare me.
But that
That
was a little.
that felt like a little bit of an overstep. And I brought this up a couple of times during my interviews at Fantastic Fest. Like one thing that I really wanted to see, and again, this is me saying want when maybe it wasn't the filmmaker's intention, and maybe that's not fair, but one of the things I really wanted to see in all of these VHS segments was, yes, a scary movie, but something that also embraced the love of the holiday, celebrating Halloween, basically. And I think the one that just like ran away with that pairing above and beyond is Home Haunt. I think that is such a genius idea. And that's another one that I think is just executed perfectly. Micheline Pitt and R.H. Norman,
Yeah.
they just like they got it. They got it. And the two of them have such an extensive understanding of what it takes to make a film, not just as writers and directors, but from every department's perspective. And you can see that understanding just like culminating in a way that makes every single person on their team deliver their best possible work. I also am just utterly obsessed. I think this is one that I feel like I always pick one or two every single VHS where I'm like, I want a feature film version of that. The idea of a home haunt coming to life. I mean, we've seen some of that before, a little bit with like movies like Hellfest and that kind of thing.
But not like
I
supernaturally.
not like yeah,
Yeah.
not like homemade, handmade. I love the idea of such a handmade feeling haunt coming to life. Also, wait, one other thing I want to say that this one does especially well is it takes the time to make me care about these characters and understand their motivation and how much they care about this home haunt. And that made the more wild horror focused material play especially well. So Home Haunt, I'm with you. I think it's the best of the entire VHS Halloween. And it's also now one of my favorite segments of the franchise. I thought Coochie Coochie Coo did lean into Halloween quite nicely. That's another one that I think struck that balance really well. I'm surprised you didn't feel the Halloween in it as it continued on.
The haunt aspect, sure, but like then it's just a haunted house though. So like
it is, but it's
I know. Sorry, it's a haunted house. It's just a haunted house. It's not like
but it leans
in Hell House LLC.
I get it leans into the idea of like older kids, young adults, like being jerks on Halloween and basically having to pay for it. I liked that one. I also did like Paco Plaza's quite a bit. I can't necessarily go against what you said, where it almost feels like Halloween is shoehorned in by having set the story on Halloween night, or some of the story at least. But like I was really into this like possession concept and how he paired the two parts of the story together. I did think that worked really well. And I was kind of tickled by Haunted Soda. Every single time it cut back to that, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to see what the Haunted Soda does next. So that to me is the kind of reaction you want from a wraparound segment. So, last year's VHS was like above and beyond. That's one that my favorite VHS is VHS 2. And I never thought I'd get one that like hit those levels. That was VHS Beyond for me. So I guess I'm basically echoing what you said. It was going to be hard for this one to hit those heights, but I still really dug this one. And I walked away with at least one segment that's one of my favorite of all time now.
Yeah.
What are you scoring VHS Halloween overall? It's so hard to do this with an anthology style film.
Because like Home Haunt's a 9 out of 10, but like the entire anthology together as a package, to me is like it's like a 4.5 out of 5, but together it's kind of just a 3 out of 5 to me.
Man, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. I think some of these other segments worked better for me than they did for you, and I don't know. I'll always get electrified by the whole idea of the VHS franchise and how these are made and the creative swings that could be taken here that can't be taken elsewhere. So I'm going to go 4 out of 5. That brings us to 29, 14. 3 more to go. This one is Silent Night, Deadly Night. I will let you tee that one up.
So the second remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, if you have not seen Steven C. Miller's 2012 remake Silent Night, I suggest you do because it is my favorite of the remakes. But I came to this with the background of enjoying Mike P. Nelson from VHS, but not loving his Wrong Turn remake. And I was afraid, based on Wrong Turn, him getting another remake, how's that going to go about? And I don't have that much affinity for Silent Night, Deadly Night itself. So I was like, yeah, go for it, do your thing. But between Silent Night and that, I was like, I liked Silent Night, Deadly Night 2025. This one that we just had. It is a fun recreation that absolutely is telling its own story, that absolutely finds an endpoint to Christmas and the original, idea of killing the naughty. Billy Chapman in the first one is naughty, all that stuff. And it does it in way much its own way. It does it in a way too that is very contemporary and intriguing. And no, I'm not going to go farther. I'm going to actually stay there. But I was very happy as someone who didn't want to have to compare it to Silent Night to be given something that is bloody, violent, and yet has its own voice, and yet is anti-gun and anti-Nazi very loudly. Like what the fuck? Did not expect that from my Silent Night remake. So
that sequence,
it feels very of itself. And Rowan Campbell is doing Halloween Ends things in a certain way that is such a diversion from what you expect. But then again, the way that the film produces relationships and takes his killer arc to new realms, yes, I am pro. I am mixed pro because I think it is really rough around the edges, and I think while some of the kills are great, some of the action scenes are just kind of like cut away, do what you can, but pro.
Yeah. Should I just read my reaction that I never posted? Because apparently I wrote this one and then just never shared it.
Sure.
It is also pro. Really enjoyed Mike P. Nelson's Silent Night, Deadly Night. The seams show here and there, but they're the kind of blips that are no match for how Nelson evolves the concept of the original and also for what a strong anchor Rowan Campbell is for the film. Between Halloween Ends, The Monkey, and now this, there's no denying he is one of the most exciting artists in the genre space right now. Silent Night, Deadly Night is a mighty big swing in a multitude of respects. It was only going to work with a lead actor who knew exactly how to handle the material, and that was most certainly Rowan Campbell. I also really dug Ruby Modine's work in the film. She's a fun powder keg of a character who's quite enjoyable to track. Her chemistry with Campbell also serves the experience quite well. It gives the film just enough heart to keep you invested. Overall, a bit of a bumpy ride, but one that still manages to be an often outrageous, bloody, and at times even shockingly charming good time. I stand by all of that. I don't know why the fuck I didn't post it immediately after I wrote it.
How's that fit into a post?
I had a blast. Like, again, I said it in that statement. There are moments in this movie where the seams are showing, but this to me was the perfect first secret screening for Fantastic Fest.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a remake of a classic, and I had a really great time with it. So I am going to go ahead and give this movie a 3.5 out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal Movie Scale.
3 out of 5.
I will take it. An hour, 33 and 6 seconds is vicious. I'm assuming you're going to want me to synopsize. Well, this one.
Fucking Dakota Fanning finds a box and it's vicious.
You're not wrong about that. A woman spends the night fighting for her existence as she slips down a rabbit hole contained inside a gift from a late night visitor. I will kick this one off and say I liked 80% of this movie quite a bit. I was invested. I was curious. I wanted to see Dakota Fanning's character survive. I wanted to know more about how the box worked. And then it whiffed the ending. It's like a swing and a miss ending. And it's one of those things where, like, I understand why people are so negative right now. Or, I shouldn't make a generalization, but it does seem to be the reaction that the movie got. I feel like this movie is getting lower scores because it's a movie that's so heavily, it's a concept that so heavily depends on sticking that landing. So, like, I get the negativity. I will say, I thought Dakota Fanning was excellent in the movie. A lot of this movie, pretty much all of it is on her shoulders. And I thought she sold so much of the material is really hard for an actor to sell, to make an audience believe what's happening to her and how she feels about it. And I didn't think she missed in that respect. I also loved Catherine Hunter in the movie. I thought she was doing exactly what she needed to be doing. But then we get to that ending and I'm like really? Like it feels like you're breaking some of your rules and also making this whole journey not mean as much as it should have.
It's bad. It's a bad movie. It's bad. It is bad in totality because it doesn't establish rules. It's just flying by the seat of its pants. I don't know that this movie ever knew how it wanted to end or what it wanted to say. I will read my reaction very quickly. There's a marketable evil at the film's core, but the story is a nihilistic mess. Life is cruel, vicious cycle, bullshit. It's not doing anything interesting with the premise. Mean is mean over and over. Dakota stranded, pass for fucking ever. Like the entire movie is not good, and the ending just accentuates it. That's the problem. I do agree with you. Dakota is doing exactly what she's asked, and I don't think the performance itself is bad. But from square fucking one, like there's never really a core to grasp onto that is tangible. Like we see whiffs of ghosts. We see whiffs of having to sacrifice herself. Like there's just all this stuff over and over again, but it's all just fucking jumbled. It's just slop. So like to me, it's just inept from the start. And sure, if you could land it somewhere that actually, like, I agree with you 100%. Like, you land somewhere that sticks it, like, we're having a different conversation. But the way that it just spins even more out of control and then just fucking ends, no, thank you.
Yeah. So what did you give it?
1.5 out of 5.
Oh shit, that's real low.
Yeah, it's awful.
Admittedly, I am really struggling with my score because, again, I was so into it for so long. And then when all of what I was invested in amounted to next to nothing, like, does that negate everything that came before? Or should my score reflect that I was enjoying watching most of this movie? It's something I'm struggling with quite a bit. So I'm going to go right down the middle, and I guess it's a score that can be interpreted one way or the other. I will go with a 2.5 out of 5 for Vicious.
I get it.
I guess it's not that much higher than yours, but like I teeter. There's parts of this movie that I thought were really well done that I really liked, but then that ending. All right, 1 hour, 37 minutes, 21 seconds. We are ending with The Strangers Chapter 2. Would you like to go first on this one?
Yeah, fucking stupid fucking remake. It's a stupid fucking sequel that knows nothing about the stupid fucking story.
Oh, Matt.
I gave this a 1 out of 5. I hate this movie. I hate what this movie stands for. It's actually so bad that it can negatively affect my appreciation of Brian Bertino's, because you have given backstory to elements from Bertino's movie that whenever I hear that quote, I'm never going to be able to get the stupid image of the ending of this movie out of my head. This is reckless behavior. It's one of the worst things that anyone has ever adapted in the last decade plus. I hope Chapter 3 gets canceled somehow and burned.
Stop that.
It's terrible.
Listen,
there's no redeeming quality of this movie.
I do think there's a redeeming quality. I think there's a couple. Yeah, I think
great, but it's not her fault.
Madeleine Petsch is a star. I think she is a star. I think she could take literally any material and breathe life into it. So I think the fact that I am into this trilogy at this point is really me just wanting to see what she could do next. If you've watched Merri Hour over the last year, you know that Matt and I differ on The Strangers Chapter 1. I thought it was a solid remake of the original. Maybe it didn't really add all that much, and maybe it does pale in comparison to an iconic original film. But I thought it was well done enough, and I always gave it a pass because the idea of turning The Strangers into a trilogy, I think, did hinge on recreating the first part of the story. So I was giving it the benefit of the doubt, and
lo and behold.
I don't like the backstory.
Lo and behold.
I don't like the backstory I was given. I think the hospital sequence was really good, and in particular, I love the way a certain oneer is done in the movie. I think it's one of the best shots in the entire film. But yeah, the way this movie opted to explore the stranger's backstory just really didn't work for me.
But by giving it a backstory, that is
I understand, but I've always given them the benefit of the doubt. My hope is that if you are going to turn on its head what makes the original Strangers, the 2008 Strangers, the Strangers, I was hopeful that there was purpose. There was something that was going to make me go like, huh, like, holy shit. Like, you really could do that and still maintain the scare factor. But
you know what we were missing in The Strangers? A wild boar. You know, we were missing in The Strangers a reason why they're there and a reason why they say what they say. Like, literally giving backstory to singular quotes is the most fucking inane thing I've ever.
There was something there. I want that.
No, I don't want there to be anything there.
I thought I might have
literally
wanted it.
The
I didn't want it.
The idea that they are fucking strangers is why it's happening. That is what makes it scary.
Yeah.
These movies do not understand why The Strangers is scary or successful. They are just trying to bank on a name and use like scraps of things they probably had lying around. I don't think banking on it was ever their like actual intention. But I do. Well, then they don't understand horror either. So
well, I do think some of the expansion of the story might have been a bit misguided, and it didn't really work. I'm going to see chapter 3 when it comes out, and I'm going to be curious to see how they try to stick the landing. But at this point,
we already know. Once you watch chapter 2, you know where it's going. So like that's the other part where like fuck it all.
I don't really have any choice but to admit that your instincts were right. And
it's not even about that. Like again, like there is no right and wrong here. Like I would have loved to have been proven wrong, but like again, it is why The Strangers is good. It is good because you don't know why they did it. They're fucking strangers. Yeah. They're just they because you were home.
Yeah, I'm bummed. I was really rooting for this team. I was really hoping the idea of turning The Strangers into a trilogy, they like had a little special something there, but the second one didn't really work for me, except for, you know, her performance, and every once in a while, like the hospital sequence, there's something that's just like, it's cool filmmaking, but yeah.
I mean, yes, it will. I mean, they spent $53 million on the total trilogy, I think was the number.
Wow, really?
Well, I'm trying, like, with marketing and everything. I swear to God, like I looked.
I didn't realize everything amounted to that much at this point. But
I could be wrong.
You know,
the actual thing, and don't take my word on it. But like, they spent a lot on it, so there's no way they're not. You
were giving it a 1, you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's absolute fucking horrid.
I'll give it a 2 out of 5 on the Dewey Decimal movie scale. Before we have to wind down, a Stranger's fun fact at Fantastic Fest. Something that is kind of cool is that there was a Stranger's family reunion at Fantastic Fest because Brian Bertino was there with Vicious, Johannes Roberts was there with Primate, and then also the Strangers Chapter 2 played there. Listen, no matter what you think about any of the films, the fact that all 3 of them were represented at the same place is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. That is funny.
All right.
If only Brian Bertino could have fought Rennie Harlan in the debates.
Oh. Was that supposed to happen?
No, not at all. That was never on the docket. I just would have loved to see that.
I would have gone for that. Yeah. Very, very briefly, we have 2 super chats that came in. Doug wants to know, Perri, did you see Rental Family at TIFF? Thoughts? Sadly, I did not. I was gonna see it and had to give my ticket up because I got assigned an interview that meant I had to go see something else, but I'm hoping to catch this one very, very soon. Vincent also says, so excited for No Other Choice. You didn't see that one yet, right, Matt?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I've only heard good things. I am looking forward to that as well. Matt, very briefly, do you want to tell everybody where they could find a lot of your Fantastic Fest work?
Yeah. everything we talked about, I did write about for IGN, Daily Dead, and Inverse. So you can find any of my reviews, as I just said, on IGN, Daily Dead, or Inverse from Fantastic Fest, plus more we didn't even talk about. I think I hit 15 reviews. But yeah, follow me on social media at Donatobomb, DONATOBOMB, and that is going to be Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd.
You can find me everywhere on all social media platforms, but in particular, I will ask you to go over to the Collider Interviews YouTube channel and actually all the Collider social channels, because I really love covering Fantastic Fest. I think I did good work this year that I'm proud of. I also have to give a really big shout out to the person who recorded all of my interviews, who's editing all of them, and is just like a really great collaborator in these spaces. Someone I couldn't cover the festival without. It's Adam Martinetti. Please support our work so we could do it again next year. Go and like and share these videos, like and share the social clips we've been sharing, the pictures. Adam did this phenomenal portrait studio where the pictures came out so good. Please go like and share those. Go stalk him on social media and give him a shout out and tell him good job also, because he really did phenomenal work. So that is my request. And with that, that's a wrap on this extra long edition of the Merri Hour. We will see you next weekend with a normal sized one. Goodbye, everybody.